Today we are going to talk about something really important, but not talked about enough. What it's like to grow up with a mom who isn't there for you emotionally. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about understanding how having a mom who can't or won't connect with you on an emotional level affects you, no matter the reason why she is like that. We'll look at the signs that show a mother might be emotionally absent, how this can make us feel and act as we grow up, and most importantly, how can we start feeling better and heal from these experiences. We often think of a good mom as someone who feeds us, washes our clothes, and makes sure we have everything we need to grow up healthy and strong. But behind these scenes, moms can be facing their own struggles, dealing with past hurts, managing a stressful job, or navigating personal issues. These challenges can sometimes limit their ability to provide the emotional support their children need. Children, in their efforts to understand their world, might not see these invisible burdens. They might feel confused, blame themselves, or believe they're the reason for the emotional distance, not realizing the complex realities their mothers are dealing with. Emotional neglect, less visible than other forms of neglect, carries a profound impact. It's about the absence of necessary emotional support, the conversations that never happened, and the emotional needs that went unacknowledged. Imagine you have a plant that you are taking care of. You are diligent about watering it, and you've planted it in rich, nutritious soil. These are like the physical support we provide for ourselves or others: food, shelter, and safety. It's essential, but it's only part of what the plant needs to truly thrive. Now consider sunlight as the emotional support. Again, the sunlight for a plant can be as simple as asking, "How are you?" with genuine interest, offering encouragement with, "You can do it," providing comfort through, "I am here for you," or celebrating victories with, "Well done." Each act nurturing growth and well-being. Just like a plant stretches toward the sun to grow, people reach out for emotional support to flourish. If a plant only gets water and good soil, but it kept in the dark, it might stay alive, but it won't grow as it should. It becomes weak and stunted, never reaching its full potential to bloom or produce fruit. Similarly, when someone receives physical support but lacks emotional support, like being in an environment without love, understanding, or encouragement, they might manage to survive, but they won't truly thrive. They miss out on the joy, resilience, and strength that come from having their emotional needs met, just like a plant misses out on the beauty of blooming without sunlight. In families where emotional support may be lacking due to various reasons, children often adapt by taking on certain behaviors or roles to deal with the situation, even though these roles might not be explicitly named or recognized. These behaviors can be seen as strategies to navigate the emotional landscape of their home life, seeking to fill the void or gain approval in the absence of direct emotional connection. One common behavior, so-called the good child, is when a child consistently tries to be problem-free, aiming to ease the burden on their family. This child may suppress their own needs and emotions, striving always to be seen as easygoing or undemanding, in the hope of attracting positive attention or avoiding further neglect. Imagine a kid Let's call them Alex. Alex lives in a home where mom and dad are always stressed, barely noticing when Alex does something cool or needs a hug. So Alex turns into the household ninja, flying under the radar, never asking for much and avoiding any kind of fuss. Picture Alex quietly doing homework in their room, not bothering anyone, even when they really want to go out and play. It's all about not rocking the boat, hoping that by being the easy child, they'll snag some of that rare positive attention. Then there is Jordan. Jordan's the family's unofficial therapist, always there with a tissue or a joke, trying to cheer up their younger brother or even mom. Imagine Jordan juggling schoolwork and course, but always putting themselves last on the list, thinking that they're a ticket to feeling valued. They're the one making breakfast or listening the problems, even when they've got their own stuff piling up. This is the role of the caretaker, who looks after others at the expense of their own needs. And don't forget Sam. Sam's the one with all the trophies and perfect grades, running themselves, ready to be the star athlete and honor student. Picture Sam staying up late, studying or practicing driving by the belief that if they can't just win that next award or ace the test, they'll finally get the love and recognition they're striving for. It's all about providing their worth, convinced that their value hinges on being the best. He unconsciously chooses the role of the achiever. He seeks validation through success. These kids, Alex, Jordan and Sam, they're all trying to navigate a world where emotional support feels like a scarce commodity. They're doing whatever they can to fill that void, to find a way to feel seen and valued. But there's the kicker. These strategists might help them cope in the short term, but they can mess with how they view themselves and their relationships down the line. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about knowing that to change how things are, you first need to see the situation clearly. This understanding is your first move towards improving your relationships and how you view yourself, not as a ninja, a therapist, or a trophy winner, but as someone deserving of love and attention simply for being who you are. Understanding emotional neglect means spotting the hidden signs that don't always scream problem at first glance. It's about those feelings of always being on the outside, looking in, doubting yourself, or finding it tricky to even know what you're feeling. It's like feeling you're a puzzle piece that just doesn't fit anywhere. Picture this. You're sitting across from your mom, bursting to tell her about the awful day you had. You flunked a test or had a huge fight with your best friend. You gather all your courage to share, hoping for a hug or at least a listening ear. But all you get is a distracted or a quick "you'll be okay" before she is back to scrolling through her phone. It's as if your words and feelings just disappear into thin air. Or imagine the day you bring home your report card, filled with top marks. You're expecting a high five or a big smile, but instead you get a glance and, well, that's what I expect. It feels like your hard work means nothing more than just another tick on a list. You start thinking that maybe, just maybe, if you win that trophy or nail that test, you'll close the gap at home. But this chase for perfection is exhausting. Every win just leads to more pressure, and that feeling of I am never good enough keeps growing. Think about the times when you felt really down, maybe because you didn't make the team. You try to talk about it only to be met with a joke or a dismissive. Sports aren't for everyone. It's tough to argue without sounding too sensitive, but those words sting. Consider those quiet evenings at home, where everyone doing their own thing. And there is that huge gap between you and your mom that just keeps getting wider. You don't even know how to start bridging it anymore. And on those rare times when you can't keep your feelings bottled up any longer and you talk about feelings lonely or sad, you are quickly brushed off with, look on the bright side. It's as if there is no space for any sadness in your house. No chance to really dive into what you are feeling. Anger is the one emotion that seems to be on full display at home. Over little things like spilled milk or a missed deadline. It sets the tone, making you super careful about what you say or do, hiding your real feelings just to avoid the outbursts. In this house, being able to do whatever you want isn't really freedom. There aren't rules because making them and following through takes more effort than anyone's willing to put in. It's like having the freedom to drive but no idea where you're supposed to go. And when it comes to hearing I love you, getting a hug, or even just a pat on the back, those moments are as rare as finding water in a desert. You start to wonder if there is something about you that just isn't lovable. These aren't just scenarios. They are reflections of how emotional neglect can manifest in everyday interactions. Recognizing these moments for what they are is a painful but necessary step towards healing and finding the emotional fulfillment that was missing. Some might wonder, it happened a long time ago, why doesn't it matter now? If you bring it up with your mom, she might change the subject, dismiss it as unimportant, accuse you of overreacting, or feel blamed as a bad mother. However, the impact of emotional neglect in childhood doesn't simply disappear as we get older. It lingers, influencing how we see ourselves, the way we form relationships, and our approach to life's challenges. Many of us are left with a deep desire for a kind of connection that truly fits our soul, a person who really gets us, who can offer the kind of support we've always wanted. This often leads us on a quest to find someone who can fill the emotional gaps we've carried for so long, like constantly trying to find friends or partners who remind you of the caring figure you wished you had. It's a path filled with hope, but also dotted with letdowns. Because of unmet needs, we often choose the wrong partners and friends. We didn't learn what a good relationship should feel like. We might end up needing too much from others because we didn't get enough love or attention before. Finally, we come to realize that the only one who can truly fill those gaps is ourselves. Learning to trust people and open up about our deepest fears and wishes can feel like trying to climb a mountain without any gear, especially when our earliest experiences with trust and emotional support were shaky or just not there. You might find yourself in moments of stress or sadness automatically reverting to self-soothing habits you developed when no one was there to guide you, like withdrawing into yourself or focusing on work to ignore your feelings. Maybe you try to form deep connections only to find that you are building walls around your heart, to protect it from the same indifference you faced as a child. This fear of being met with a lack of understanding or empathy can make opening up feel too risky, leading to a cycle of isolation and surface-level relationships. Healing from emotional neglect is like fixing a broken bone. It takes time, care, and sometimes the help of a pro to get it right. Let's talk about how you can start this healing journey, making things a bit brighter every day. Picture having a mini version of yourself inside, a little body who's been through quite a bit and could really use some cheering up. Why not to start by being incredibly kind to this inner child? Tell them it's completely fine to have all sorts of feelings, whether you're sad, happy, or angry. It's like giving yourself a pat on the back for being who you are. Sometimes building trust can be tough, especially if you didn't have the warmest start. But finding those who genuinely understand and support you can make all the difference. These connections, whether celebrating big achievements or offering comfort in small moments, remind us we are not alone. Feeling isolated? Start by seeking out new connections in groups that share your interests, helping you realize you are part of something bigger. Your past influences you, but it does not dictate your future. You can shape what comes next, learning from every turn, developing strength and wisdom. And there is no need to rush to achieve all your goals at once. You cannot return to childhood. What's done cannot be changed. Seeking emotional support from parents in adulthood may only intensify disappointment and pain. Not everyone can or wants to change. You don't have the power to change others, only yourself. So sometimes the only way to accept what is missing and will not be is to start taking care of yourself. Begin with the little things. Listen to yourself as if you were a child. Allocate time for rest and enjoy the simple everyday pleasures, because it's crucial. And it's natural to feel sorrow for what's been missed, but finding ways to express these emotions through writing, art, or speaking can be a healing process. If overwhelmed, taking a moment to explore your thoughts can offer clarity, like piecing together a puzzle of your own emotions. Next is setting boundaries. It's essential for your well-being. It means saying no to things that exhaust you and yes to what brings you joy. As you get to know yourself better and meet people who respect your boundaries, you'll create a supportive and positive space around you. Walking through life, especially when facing challenges alone, can feel daunting. That's when seeking help from a therapist can be invaluable. They provide guidance, helping you navigate your emotions and teaching you how to care for yourself in ways you might have missed. As we wrap up today's journey, I want to leave you with this thought. Healing from emotional neglect is a deeply personal path. One that's paved with challenges, discoveries, and ultimately transformation. Remember that your experiences are valid, your feelings matter, and you are worthy of love and connection. With each step, you're moving closer to a brighter and happier version of yourself. I hope this video provided you with some valuable insights. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care.